how much do you really know about body language? Normal people don't know anything about it, which makes it so easy to read how they think and feel because their body language directly depicts their emotions. I honestly think you would make so much more progress in life if you would just study more about that skill. You could be that confident, charming guy that everybody wants to be near to just by optimizing your body language. And it's our mission to teach you that. Because if one teaches, two learn.
No. And feel you would be unable or unwilling to perform the duties listed on the safety card.
How many of y'all would be ready to do that? Just randomly read some paper out loud in a plane with someone random next to you. I think back then it was normal, but nowadays with like social media and everything, this is weird. This is not really body language related. This is just general. I would have never done that. I would have never had the balls to read something out loud. My mentality always was, when I was younger, be there and leave without anybody really noticing that you was there. Because if nothing changed when you was there and when you left, that means nobody can really pick a fight with you, because you weren't that much of a difference that anybody could be like, you dick, right? I was just scared of anybody insulting me or having a fight with me because I was just timid. I would have never ever done something like this. But back then that was normal. And what changed from back then to now? We got social media and we all feel really fucking lonely. So maybe this is the way, right? I think here's the thing about loneliness, right? There's being alone and then there's loneliness. Being alone just means there are no people around and, there are no people that you can talk to right now. So you just have to go somewhere where there are people, all right? Whatever. But if you're lonely, that means there could be thousands of people around you. You could be standing in the middle of a crowd. But you can still be lonely because you just don't feel connected to anyone around you. That means the problem is not that people are around us. There are probably enough people around us. The problem is that we just don't feel connected to anyone. So our problem with loneliness, if you're lonely, I think you're lonely because I think most of us are lonely. I was lonely 18 years of my life pretty much. If you're lonely, the problem is not having more people around you. It's starting to interact with people. That's our problem. We don't interact with people that, we're walking past. I still remember vividly, I was like, I think 4 weeks ago, I just had a random ass conversation with a grandma that was sitting on a bench, and she was, talking to me about her grandkids and all that, and it was wholesome as fuck. It was so sweet, and I never saw her after that. I never saw her before that. But it pretty much made my day because I just felt connected to the people that live around me. How often do you go around the city and just say hi to people? How often do you do that? Because I know that at least like maybe 1 in 10 people say hello to me. I feel like we're all so disconnected from all the people around us, and then we say, oh, we're so lonely. I feel so lonely. I'm so sad. Yeah, of course you are. You're not trying to interact with anybody. I think it's this old man personality where you just don't care if anybody, what anybody thinks about you. Just trying to have a good time, interact with people, have fun conversations. We're all so much in our heads, overthinking about what other people think about us that we forget that we feel fucking lonely and sad.
Please ask a flight attendant to reseat you.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Want to switch seats?
Look at this. Now it's just a conversation. Of course, this is a movie, but because he read that stuff out loud because he was interested in it, the narrator here had an option to kind of engage and have a conversation with him. Again, this is not body language, but I feel like this is just general stuff on how to feel happy.
No, I'm not sure I'm the man for that particular job.
An exit door procedure at 30,000 feet. The illusion of safety.
And look at this. This is body language related now. He seems really in control because he embraced the silence. You know, the way he kind of looked around, counted the seats. He didn't feel the need to fill in anything, you know, to try keep talking. He just kind of, you know, took his time counting. And he was like, yeah, the illusion of safety. Embracing the silence is, people are scared of it nowadays. It's really, really a good thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know why they put oxygen masks on planes?
So you can breathe.
Oxygen.
You saw how he slowly went down with his vocal pitch to whisper. You can see the transition. He started at the normal, you know, normal voice pitch, and he slowly went down into the whisper. Okay, and the second he started to whisper, but you saw the narrator slightly leaning in. I don't even know if that was a actor's thing. If it was something that, you know, the actor did consciously, then, you know, he's a really good actor. But I think it wasn't. I think it was just a natural reaction to the whisper, because that's what we do. We lean in. We really want to know what he's saying. We're invested. We're interested. That's what changing your vocal pitch does.
Aye. In a catastrophic emergency, you're taking giant panic breaths. Suddenly you become euphoric, docile. You accept your fate. It's all right here.
Now right here, you saw how he kind of leaned forward to, you know, give him the paper. We can't see how he gave him the paper. It happened somewhere down here. But essentially, he invaded his private space just to give him the paper. Invading someone's private space shows that you do what you want. You're not scared of that guy. You just do what you want. You're not scared to touch him. You're not scared to come close to him. And it's really easy to do in conversations. You know, tapping someone's shoulder, tapping someone's back, like he did right here, you know, coming close and giving someone something. You don't really have to touch him. You just come so close that it's, you know, it's closer than normal people would, but it's not like threatening.
Emergency water landing 600 miles an hour. Blank faces, calm as Hindu cows.
That's an interesting theory.
You saw how unreactive he stayed? Essentially, he kind of, you know, he showed him that he doubts what he says, that he doesn't really believe him. Tyler Durden just didn't change his facial expression at all. Instead, he started to, you know, look away, just slowly turn around and look another direction. He said what he had to say. If he doesn't believe in, he doesn't care. He's unreactive. He doesn't get emotional. Imagine how the scene would go if he would do the, you know, oh, that's an interesting theory, you fucking idiot. And then Tyler Durden would start to explain himself. Oh, no, you know what? That would be so cringe. He just stayed unreactive. He didn't care. And here's the thing in real life. If you try to maximize your body language, you'll start have people calling you weird, calling you, you know, you're just arrogant, whatever. Don't even try to argue with those people. That's the biggest mistake that you could do. Just stay unreactive. Don't give them this attention. They haven't earned it.
What do you do?
What do you mean?
What do you do for a living?
Why?
See how he asked a question here, but instead of going up with his voice, you know, the why, he went down. Normally, you know, when we ask a question, we all go up with your voice, right? That's normal. That's how normal people do it, right? But big men always go down with their voice, even with questions, because going down with your voice is assertive, it's dominant, it's confidence. Going up with your voice is always submissive. That's why you see big men going down with their voice, even if it's a question.
You pretend like you're interested.
And you see how he caught him here? This right here is what people call social awareness. Tyler Durden saw how he was making fun of him before. So essentially, because of his social awareness, he sensed that he's just trying to keep making fun of him. Instead of being emotional or trying to explain himself, he straight up calls him out for it. Normal people will probably not do that in real life. First, because they usually don't have this kind of social awareness, because they just don't talk to as many people to get this social awareness. And second, because they don't have the balls for it. Calling people out is top 10. It's like probably one of the most confident things you can do.
Okay.
You have a kind of sick desperation in your laugh?
We have the exact same briefcase.
You saw how high his voice pitch was here? He sounded like a little girl. You see the difference how Tyler Durden, he asked why, he asked the question, then he went down at the end of the sentence. And the narrator, he was up the whole time, and then he went up at the end of the sentence as well. It's a huge difference. One seems really like sure of himself, the other one just sounds like a little girl.
Soap.
Sorry?
And then here, one word answer. And also changing the topic back to something that you want to talk about. Big men don't let other people, tell them what to talk about, let them influence the conversation too much. If they want to talk about something, they change the topic. And they only say less than necessary. They don't try to talk too much. They give short answers, soap. It not only makes you seem mysterious because you don't over-explain yourself, people will also want to find out more about you in this very second because soap. What do you mean by that? People will automatically get curious and try to find out what you're talking about.
Make and I sell soap.
Again, kind of invading his personal space. You're not that much as before, but by giving him the card without him asking, he comes closer than normal people would normally. Right? Again, it just shows that he's confident. He's not scared. He can do what he wants.
Yardstick of civilization.
And this is how I met Tyler Durden.
Did you know if you mixed equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you can make napalm?
Again, this is extremely random. It's kind of similar to this. I'm reading out some paper that I've just saw that you just you witnessed at the start of this clip. It's kind of this wildness to the character. Big men are usually wild. They can't be controlled. They talk about what they want. If they want to read out some paper, as he did at the beginning of this, they read out the paper. If they want to start teaching the other person how to mix stuff to get a bomb, they do that because they think it's fun. And you should too. Why are you doing that? When was the last time that you said stuff just because you find it fun? And then why did you stop after that? Because you felt odd, because the other person, made you feel odd? Do what you think is fun. Stop letting other people dictate, what to say and all that. Just say what you want to say.
No, I did not know that. Is that true?
That's right.
And also see how invested the narrator is, how much he's leaned in just by the face. If he would sit in a chair, in a normal chair, that goes like this, that is not facing, the chair he's sitting on right now is facing this direction. If he would sit on a chair that is facing the direction of Tyler Durden, let's say this chair is Tyler Durden right here, he would probably be leaning in just by now. You saw how his face was essentially, just in Tyler Durden's face, completely leant forward. If this would be a conversation where they would sit in front of each other, he would be leaning in. It just shows how interested he is in what Tyler Durden has to say.
You can make all kinds of explosives using simple household items.
Really?
If one were so inclined.
Tell you.
Here again, embracing the silence. How long was this pause? At least 4 or 5 seconds. Tyler Durden said what he wanted to say, and then he kept quiet. Because, he didn't feel like saying anything else. And if you would always just keep quiet and be that quiet dude, people would think you just have bad social skills. But because Tyler Durden before said the stuff that he just felt like saying, he told the narrator about how to make a bomb. Now he's not that quiet dude who has no social skills. He's that dude who has interesting stories, who just doesn't feel like sharing anything with you anymore. But because, you want to hear interesting stories, everybody wants to hear interesting stories. So now the narrator will try to, get him to talk again because he was interested in what he said.
Or by far the most interesting single-serving friend I've ever met. See, I have this thing, everything on a plane is single-serving, even the...
Well, I get it. It's very clever.
Thank you.
Again, the silence. The narrator here, he looked for validation, for his, his joke that he made. But instead of giving him instant validation, Tyler Durden just kept quiet. And you saw what the narrator did. He just tried to explain himself instantly. That's what insecure dudes do. They fold. Instantly, they just try to explain themselves, try not to be the awkward dude. You saw how Tyler Durden, when he was, in that similar situation, he just didn't talk anymore. He didn't explain himself. That's the difference. You can easily catch insecure guys just by keeping quiet and seeing what they do when the silence is so loud. What do they try to fill it?
How's that working out for you?
Also, look at the smirk right here. Big man smirk. He slightly shows his teeth here, but I think it's mostly because he's talking. It's been studied. I think people looked at apes. But essentially, if you show your teeth too often, that's submissive. If you smirk, on the other hand, it's not.
What? Being clever.
Great.
Keep it up then. Right up.
Again, Tyler Durden, he finished the situation. He finished the conversation. He doesn't feel like talking anymore. And he's not over-explaining himself. He says, how did it work out? And then he said, great. And he's just like, all right, keep it up then. I don't really care. It shows this unreactiveness. He just seems like he's not that invested. And if you're not the guy who's invested, then the other person is even more invested, because people want you to be like super interested in them, because we always think we're the most interesting person that ever worked on Earth. That's why, there's a quote that says, our name is our favorite word in any language. Everyone is kind of selfish in that way. So if you don't give them the attention and validation they expect, they in return, they crave that. They're used to getting that kind of attention, especially girls. They're used to getting that attention. So if you don't give it to them, they want to get it. So they start chasing you. They start chasing that validation from you.
Now a question of etiquette. As I pass, do I give you the ass or the crotch?
Yeah, that was it. That was it from the scene. I hope you enjoyed. He will now continue to press his crotch against a woman. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Stay big man.